altered. Not quite where we want it to be, though, Blizz. Don't think we're just like, oh, mate, you changed your mind and that, and now it's all good. Now we're best pals and stuff. No. No. Well, you recognize what we've been saying since the beginning. It feels awful, dude. Feels awful. Now, you change global cooldowns on trinkets. You change the GCD on racials, but not all of us are using unused trinkets, are we, mate? Not all of us are using fucking unused racials. We're not. So it doesn't affect a lot of people, just a little bit. We got our eye on you, Blizz. We know what you're trying to play. How about Bloodlust, though? Yeah? How about... Don't leave heroism alone. No Raiders play Alliance. How about Bloodlust, though? Can we do something about that, maybe? Eh? How about we just change it back to how it was? How about tank defensives? How about that? No? Yeah? Better change it. You gotta get it fixed. Good day to you all. I hope you've all had a tremendous week. I know we have. Journeying through Mr. Isaac Clarke's last few days. In Dead Space with some supreme co-op action. And Andy stepping up to the plate and dealing with his bravery. Steeling himself. Becoming one with the stone heart he needs to contend with the darkness that are horror games. Bloodlust going back 2 weeks before BFA launch. Oh, we'll remember that one. We'll remember that one. Indeed, we will. I hope. How many of you got BlizzCon tickets? We are hoping to be there. We should be there. So if you're going to BlizzCon, come here. Come here. Come here. Daddy's got you. Yeah? You can come here. You can come here. And I'll give you a big hug, yeah? You can hug Andy if you want, but you might get in trouble. You might get in trouble. I'm just saying that if you are going, we'll be there. Come here. Come on. No, you come here. You come here. Be good. It'll be good. You wish. Yeah, it's expensive. It's expensive for those of us outside the US. We haven't actually got tickets yet, so don't quote me on that. We haven't actually got tickets yet. And if we haven't got tickets, we're not getting in. But we're asking Blizz, please. I know I said some bad things about BFA, but I did do the cooking thing, right? We can be pals, Blizz. Can't we just call it right down the middle? Yeah, sure. Might not be sold in your next expansion, which isn't what you want to hear. But we did make the cooking thing. We made a Christmas special for you, didn't we? Hey? We got all them people. We paid for the hotels. That was us. Right? We did that. We got Bellular out of his house. Come on now. It's worth the BlizzCon ticket, isn't it? We got Bellular out of his house. Not easy. Not easy. We made that happen. Well, that's not why you're here right now. That's not why you're here right now. It is indeed drama time. Now, this story might sound like one of the atypical ones, right? But trust me, it's got a twist. So, you just leave that to Daddy. I'll sort it out, yeah? The gold standard in drama time. Right? It sounds pretty standard, doesn't it? Sounds like you've heard it before. You presumptuous bastards. Rude. All right.
Sad, really.
Sad. Sad that you think that I'd just bombard you with the same old crap every time. It's just, you know what I mean? Rude and arrogant. I need a guild name, friends. I need a guild name. Let's get a girl. Let's get Knife Bunny. Sounds like a girl to me.
Did we have a guild name they said we were going to use for today?
Shit, we did have a guild name we were going to use today.
Context, so.
Neither can I. Oh, no. Yeah, I know what it is.
What was it?
Morbid Rose.
No, it wasn't.
It was our boy, Morbid Rose. It wasn't a guild name, it was just a player name. Let's have Scion and we'll have Alex. But it was. We're going to go with the guild name.
Toe Suckers!
The Toe Suckers. Alright, I'll get the Toe Suckers in next time. How's that? We're supposed to use Morbid Rose as well. Biss player name. If any of you don't have Death Knights or Rogues called Morbid Rose, think on. Alright, we'll have the Toe Suckers for the next story. Sure. Oh, I need a mummy. Oh, Morbid Rose can be the mummy. That works. We need a mother. Morbid Rose. Now, I will pre-warn you guys. There's some darkness in today's stories. Some real darkness. Like, I'm not joking. I'm straight face. Some dark things happen in today's stories. Okay? Alright. Good. So we're good. Alright. Holla preacher and a big hairy knuckle bro fist to you all, and a tip of the gentlemanly for Dodo to Mr. Ghost.
Mariska Hargitay, Holmes.
Mariska Hargitay, indeed. I'm coming to you from the shithole of UK. Name it. Scotland, well said. You didn't even have to blink. You didn't even have to blink.
You're dumb.
From Scotland. I've been a long-time viewer of that drama time. I could probably churn out some novels of the things I've done in WoW. But this is the story of how my guild... Did we choose a name? I don't think we did. The Toe Suckers. We'll use it now. How my guild, the Toe Suckers, got me my first GF. Now, I just want to clarify some shit first for all you guys who think I'm a fucking virgin out there. Man's not a virgin. Man likes to suck some cocks. Alright? I'm bi. I've had 5 BFs. And he says, and I quote, I have seen and sucked my fair share of dick. Right? He's investigated it. But, man's never got a puss. Nothing but sausages, no buns. Right? We're lacking on the buns. But I have to tell you, chat, I was curious. Man's curious. But what is it all about? What is it all about? My WoW career began on the 26th of December 2009, like a month after the ICC went live. But that doesn't matter. This story begins at the launch of Mists of Pandaria. At the launch of MoP, I was an 18-year-old metalhead. Smoking green all the way through college. I'll be honest with you all, I was a bit of a twat. Sounds a lot like me. Sounds a lot like my college days, honestly. I've got purple hair. I'm kind of a big deal now. Seen the size of my pants, though? Have you? Well too big. That's right. That's because I'm cool. Want to go Afflex, Andy? Andy, want to go Afflex? I
Go now, mate.
need some big jeans.
Oh, mate.
Preferably with zips, so I could turn them into shorts at an emergency.
At the knees, mate.
Yeah, I need some knee zips. Well cool. Sometimes the pants. Sometimes
Oh,
the
a sturdy
shorts.
belt, though.
I need a studded belt and a collar. But, like, I need a leather thing on my wrist. With studs on it.
Glow sticks.
It's not a bracer.
Oh, glow sticks, I said.
Glow sticks. Glow sticks are the best. Only Manchester people get the Afflex reference, unfortunately. Google it. Afflex Palace. You'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway. I never wore a collar. I want that on record. And I did wear the zip jeans. I did have the purple hair. I didn't have a collar. I didn't even have a bracer, actually. I was an amateur metalhead. I didn't want to commit. It's too much to commit fully. I didn't want to do it. Anyway. Now, at this time, I was guildless. As my old guild parted ways before the launch of MoP, with a lot of members just leaving the game, changing servers. Me, though, I stayed where I was as a lone wolf. Wandering around. A month after hitting level 90 and doing my first 5-man heroic in Mists of Pandaria, Storm Stout Brewery on my Blelf prop pally, I noticed 2 people in the group were in the same guild. An unholy DK, Scion, and a holy Tauren pally, Alex. And they were doing something. Now, you're not going to believe this, audience. Prepare. They were doing something I had not seen in an age. They were chit-chatting in party chat. And God, did they seem like cool bros. After joining them for a few more heroics, they invited me to their guild. I became a toe sucker. I was treated to the old-fashioned whale comes from a few members. Most of who don't matter to the story, but there was the one from the GM. A Blood Elf DK and Guild Mother, Morbid Rose. And a Troll Resto Druid, Knife Bunny. Let's go forward to the Throne of Thunder. I am a solid member of the guild. I switched over to Ret because I was a little bitch and didn't want to tank. But I was pretty decent at Ret. And in the time I had made good friends with many members of that guild. I would do 5-mans all the time with Alex, Knife Bunny and Scion, and would spend my time where I should be doing college assignments, sitting in TeamSpeak, having bants with the raiders. In the time from me joining the guild to now, I learned that this was a proper proper, that's double P-A, proper UK guild. Most were from the south of England, posh wankers. We had a few from Northern Ireland, and we even had a sheep shagger. Name the country.
Wales, mate.
It's from Wales in the valleys.
From Wales.
From Wales. We're going to the valleys to buy me milk.
Bacardi and Coke, my fun way.
But there were only two other Scots. Two other Scots. A shaman who was from the Highlands. And Knife Bunny. Alex quickly became one of my bestest buddies, as we bonded over our love of all things WoW, all things WWE, and all things metal. We'd even meet at the Download Festival that year. Now, normally I would find myself becoming attracted to someone like Alex, likes greasy wrestling, likes getting sweaty with the mosh pit. He's my kind of guy. But it wasn't him. No, not this time. I didn't want his beef. I wanted the beef curtains of our girl Knife Bunny. I'd always gone along with Knife Bunny, had some bants, talked about our favourite bands. Are you ready to get metal? Metal to the core? Like Bullet for My Valentine. To the core, right? I'm Machine Head. And throwing the casual flirt back and forth. Even becoming friends on Facebook. We eventually took it to the Skype and I'm thinking, girl likes metal, fugly. I knew it before I even clicked the button, but there she was. Hot AF. Mosher girl, had the great looks. I'm picturing Andy, hot Mosher girl. Era, Bullet for My Valentine, Machine Head. Man's thinking, that skateboard chick, you like skater boys. Probably that look.
Nah, not from
What's she called her?
Who?
She got Lyme disease, that one.
What? What's
She,
the one we know?
I don't know, I swear to God I don't know her name. Chad Kroger. She married Chad Kroger.
Oh, fucking, from,
Chat knows, don't he? Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lasagna.
Avril Lasagna.
Avril Lasagna. I'm picturing Avril Lasagna. For real. That's what I'm thinking. She's got that Avril look about her. When the toe suckers eventually got our first rad end kill, after a month and a bit of trying, Bovril Lavatory.
Bovril Lasagna, mate.
Bovril Lavatory. Oh my God, that's fucking funny. That is funny as fuck. When the toe suckers eventually got our first rad end kill. Shut up and get me back into the story. After a month and a bit of trying, TeamSpeak exploded. Cheering nerds, squealing, we did it! As we started to get TOT on farm, I saw myself quickly falling for Knife Bunny. Now, chat, Alex was my guy. Alex was my bro. He smelled it. You want some puss? I shall be your official wingman. He sensed it instantly. And despite making a few jokes subtly thrown my way, he came in strong with a, I will help you wooing her. Now, caution, fellas. If somebody offering to be your wingman uses the word wooing, say thank you, but no thanks. Thank you, but no thanks. He suggested we bring in Scion to help. I want to precursor this by saying I absolutely detest reading this line. But here we go. Now, Alex is very much like Mr. Ghost when it comes to picking up ladies. He simply nods and the females come dripping in droves. Please never write anything like that in a story again. I'm just not going to read it. What are you basing that on? Huh? What are you basing that on? Neither of us have been single since we appeared in front of your faces. Not a one of us. Like, what are you basing that on? Man, so hot. You know, I'm going to be hearing about that for weeks. Weeks. Sion, he's the romantic, though. Yeah? He's the romantic. So any advice they gave me, I graciously accepted. Let's go forward to the Siege of Orgrimmar. Still not made a move, by the way. And by that time, me and Knife Bunny had hit a kind of post-raid ritual. This sounds like a friend zone to me. After every raid, we would hop on Skype and just chat for a few hours. Now, I want you guys to look at it from my perspective. I lived around an hour from her and never really had the courage to ask her out. I'd hung out with her a few times, but it was always with a group of friends around us. Now, asking guys out is real easy. All you do if you want to ask out a guy is say, do you want to go for a pint? And then maybe you have some sex later that night. But with a girl, it's different. Girls are tricky. Girls are awkward. I had never had a girlfriend. I hadn't actually seen RL boobs yet, outside of porn and movies. See, those guys, man, we're top shelf. You want to go out later?
Do I want to go out later?
Huh?
Where do you want to go? Should we go for a beer?
Have a beer and have some sex after.
Deal.
Right. You gonna say no? Right.
No.
Whatever. Whatever. I was a nervous wreck. It was bothering me day in, day out. One night after sitting on Skype with Alex for an hour, he was giving me inspirational words. Now, I recall that many of them are such like this. Think of the tits, Arthur. Think of the tits. Very inspirational. Another 15 minutes or so passed. Similar phrases being thrown out at me, and I decided, fuck it. Fuck it. I opened the Zuckerberg machine, targeted her face, and sent her the message. This has to be smooth. Play it smooth. What's the opening message? Sup. And now we wait. She said, hey, we're in. Okay. We've opened the door. I was thinking of going to Glasgow for the weekend to hang out. Just the two of us? Question mark. Enter. This was the first time in my life I had been worried about this sort of thing. No reply. Minute passes. 2. I'm watching the clock on my PC. 3, 4 minutes. Before it hit the 5th, a message came back. Yeah. Followed by sounds great. I was going to ask you the same thing. Okay. This moment caused me to lean back, take a deep breath, and yell, yes. It caused my flatmate to bang on the wall and tell me to shut the fuck up as it was 2:30 in the morning. The week went on. I had time to prepare for the date. Alex kept my confidence high with comments such as, get in there, mate. Sion would back him up with, just be yourself. The day came, and I got off the train. I was so nervous that I was sweating profusely. Quickly, I dived into a local Tesco Express, purchased myself some deodorant, and dried my armpits in the toilet. Nice. Smooth. Smooth, yeah? You ever walked in on a guy doing that? It's pretty funny.
What?
Drying his armpits under an air blower. I have like twice. You're in like that. So fast. Classy. Classy. He's saving the day, boys. Tesco Express coming in clutch. I got myself the emergency deodorant. We had decided on the best place for a first date. We met and we went straight to Pizza Hut. Nice. Nice. After that, we went to my favourite pub in Glasgow. A nice, dark pub. They had cheap booze, good music, and a pool table. Everything we need. I started with my personal drink of choice. A nice pint of Tennent's. For those of you uninitiated, with a pint of Tennent's, it doesn't look classy on the face of it. It really doesn't. You see, there's your pint of Tennent's. Their logo is just a red T, creatively devoid of all life, you know. That's the pump. It's just this. But that's what my man's rolling with. That's his opening. That's what he's going in with. A nice pint of Tennent's. Nice pint of Tennent's. And I thank the heavens when Knife Bunny revealed that she also liked a nice pint of lager. I would have just... You see what went wrong there, mate? You let the woman order her own drink. If you wanted to be a real man, you go a pint of Tennent's for me and a baby sham for her. Right? Just so she knows. Now, after having probably the best date of my life, it was getting late and I might have missed my train. So I ask if she wants to leave. Now, I don't drink as much as I usually do. Got to keep it under control. Not wanting to get bladdered on the first date. But she's a little tipsy. I wanted to make sure she got home safely. Scotsmen unite in ceremony here. She didn't live too far away. And because she was a little tipsy, he did the gentlemanly thing and stopped at the kebab shop for some chips and an iron brew. Hey, what a date. Yeah? Stellar. 10 out of 10. Really is pushing it out here. Some chips and an iron brew. Really fix her up. Chips and an iron brew. Oh, yeah. Oh, cracker. If you can't wake up from your first date smelling like kebab and iron brew, you're in, you know. But it does put out something here for the non-Scots, because I don't think I could get iron brew from a kebab house. To the uninformed, iron brew is a Scottish orange fizzy drink that tastes like happiness. That's all he has to say. It's a Scottish orange fizzy drink that tastes like happiness. So if that doesn't do it for you and you're not up to date with iron brew, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I noticed I missed my train by like 5 minutes, but she offered to let me stay at hers. And that we would have to place to ourselves. Needless to say, I was thinking, this is a good day. I've got a girl here, bag of chips and an iron brew, and we're going back to hers. We got to her place, and I decided to be strong and be the gentleman and say, do you have any sheets for the couch? Not wanting to force her to do anything she didn't want to, when she said, just jump in mine. And then, as we people would say, we pumped. I could say now, and here comes the verdict, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes the verdict from us all. I could say now, having tried both cock and vag, I like vag a little bit better. It's nice, isn't it? It is. It is. Today, the toe suckers is no longer around due to other things before Tuma Sargeras. Me... Booyah. me and Knife Bunny are still together. Alex is still my massive bro. I rarely do get to talk to Sign anymore, as Wad killed his love for WoW. I'm now a filthy casual, and Knife Bunny quit the game after the Toe Suckers dies. I may end up writing some more stories about my time in the Toe Suckers, as I have quite a few. I think the chat would love to hear how we lost our Hellfire Citadel raid leader because Alex banged his wife. Hope you enjoyed my little tale, Preacher, and if you and Mr. Ghost are ever in the far north of Bonnie, Scotland, I'll have a pint of Tennent's waiting for you both. No, you won't. Pint of Carlin, like a man, yeah? Bex Vier, that'll do. Andy, baby sham?
For now?
For now.
Let's do it.
Let's have a baby sham. We'll have a baby sham. Thank you for your little tale, my friend. Right. Right now. The tease is real. He is. Alex is the MVP. I like him. I like his attitude and I like his moxie. All right. I'm only going to read part of this story. There's no names at the beginning, so I'll use... oh, God. Serac. And if you're not in this one, sorry. I can't remember if there's a name mentioned. All right. It did nothing. I had a baby sham on Saturday. I bet you did, Janie. I can't believe they still sell it. Okay, here we go. The Raiders Saga. The Raiders Saga. Hello, preacher, and a nice hello to a ghost himself.
What it do, babe?
And all of the beautiful ladies and gentlemen in the chat. Now, let's see if you guys could guess this. Andy, you can guess this too.
What?
I am writing from a country where the girls are hot, the lands are fertile, and it has the most corrupt politicians.
Sweden or Russia?
Very close. Andy goes with Sweden or Russia. I'll give it a countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ukraine, mate. I know, you were almost there.
Close, man.
You were almost there. You were almost there. It was Team Ukraine. I've been watching you for years. And only several months ago, I found the Drama Time. And after my retirement from WoW, I decided to write you a little story of my own that your audience might find interesting. I, of course, started playing... Same thing. We're so dismissive, aren't we? Ukraine, it's just Russia. I started playing WoW on Russian servers near the launch of Wrath of the Lich King. Despite having 0 pennies of my own and my parents refusing to pay for video games, I had only one source of fat cash, my drunken grandfather. He was my bank. He would give me money every time I asked, and it only had one condition. One condition that must not be broken at any cost. Never tell Grandma. Might be drunk, but he's still got his wits about him, this lad. He knows what's going on. So I started my journey. I leveled up before Wrath of the Lich King launch and had a good understanding of the game. However, I didn't manage to join one of the most interesting parts of the game, raids. So that is where my story begins. With the launch of Wrath, several friends of my own, real life, who were fans of the Warcraft 3, decided to play WoW and defeat Arthas himself. I explained them the basics of the game and decided to re-roll in order to start playing with them. I had a nice comp together. Paladin, Warrior, Hunter, Rouge, and Mage. Near the level cap, I told them about raids and how to get there, and we decided to start creating our guild. We called it the Friends. At first, we invited everyone. Want to join the Friends? Virgin alert. At first, we invited everyone. We tried to be a social guild, social raids. But soon we understood that that was a bad idea. And decided that we can't guarantee raid spots to everyone in our guild because we're only going to focus on 10 man. Okay. Even before our first raid starts, I knew that we were doomed. I gave some time to my friends to get the gear and prepare consumables for our first ever raid. However, my friend, Serac, who had decided to play a warrior tank, refused to wear plate, shoulders, and chest. He would wear male ones instead. Because, and I quote, I'm going to put it in the chat so you guys can drink it in. There it is. Because it looked better for his class fantasy and RP. Houston, we have a problem. Our main tank isn't wearing plate because it doesn't look any good. This guy, God knows what's up. He's on top form, this lad. Oh, man. Our mage was wearing spirit gear. Rogue had intellect items because of the higher item level. It took them at least another week after coaching them to get proper items for us to start the raid. It took us 4 weeks to clear Naxx 10-man normal. I knew my friends were bad. But I could not leave them because we were good friends IRL. Our boy Sarak started to complain about our raid team. He said he didn't even like it, and that I was forcing him to wear ugly items all the time. And he didn't like his character. Now, I want to point out here, how many people believe Naxxramas, the Wrath version, has some of the best MOG items in the game?
What's that?
Naxx.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Naxx has some of the best MOG items in the game.
10 and 25 variants.
What was he role-playing as? He also said the only reason he stayed in the guild was because of our IRL friendship. But what he really wanted to do was go and RP on his own. He left the guild that day. We are still good friends, and he still plays WoW. But he never speaks about the day when he shouted at me about forcing him to wear that gear. Seeing the writing on the wall, I decided this was a good opportunity to leave the guild as well. I told them that I was exhausted and can't play WoW anymore. I deleted my character, and then secretly created a new character somewhere else. The guild did not disband, though. My friends leaded that guild until the middle of TOC, when the leadership was taken by an unknown guy who destroyed the guild eventually. I raided with my gnome until the end of Wrath, cleared ICC normal only, and haven't killed any heroic bosses but some in Ulduar. But seeing some players riding badass invincible mounts gave me some thoughts to start playing seriously. Now the rest of the story is kind of just a normal raid story. It's good, but it's not a drama time story. But I loved this. I loved your main tank wearing mail. It's beautiful in its own special way. It's absolutely beautiful in its own special way. Now, I'm going to read a story that's close to your hearts. I can't imagine what warrior is RPing in mail items. I don't want to know. The father of transmog. He began it all. He did. He did begin it all. He was the man. Okay. Lying flute. How many of you have actually lied to get more items? We call it pulling a Lester. Yeah? We have to... I mean... I don't know about you, but our boy Lester has completed his 4-set yet again for the 5th or 6th time. As I'm sure many of you have completed your 4-set once again for the 6th, 7th, 8th time. I have completed my 4-set. Good times. Wish I had. No. Oh, you wish you had. Jesus. Jesus. Okay. We'll do the names as we go through. But keep Sarah. You'll use it for a short time. All right. Hello, Preacher Ghosty. Word. I come to you with a story from the Nighthold. Oh, we'll need one male troll druid. That could be... Oh, that could be Sarak then. And a slightly edgy guild name. Slightly edgy. Don't go too far. Suggestions?
The Dark Toe Suckers.
We've already had the Toe Suckers, though.
Not the Dark Toe Suckers. Don't put them together. That's racist.
Righteous Mediocrity. Ooh, I quite like that. Death Kill. It's a bit too edgy. Blunt Darkness.
Dark Twat Wombles.
No. These are too edgy. All right, we'll go with Slightly Dark. Hue. Darkish Hue. The guild's called Darkish Hue. I like it. It's not... You guys are too edgy. Too edgy. Some context for you. The first time I ever reached level cap was in Warlords of Draenor with my Resto Druid. Troll, of course. I had played the game on and off for years since early the Burning Crusade, on either my friend's account or on private servers. Finally graduating to my very own account during the launch of MOP. I leveled a male Blood Elf Disc Priest to 54 and quit when my IRL friends moved on to League of Legends and Dungeons and Dragons. So I returned for the hot, spicy new expansion, Warlords of Draenor. Oh, baby. Hot and spicy indeed. My IRL friend had convinced me that healing was the tits. I expressed some concern for the fact that I had tried healing in other games and not liked it, and I had never raided. It looked overwhelming to raid, much less to raid and heal at the same time. But nevertheless, I committed to my Resto Druid. Used my boost on a male Tauren Resto Druid. Rushed to the level cap and joined my first raid, the first raiding guild I could, as my friend's guild already had too many healers. Good friend, by the way. I enjoyed raiding, but I wasn't very good. Always the bottom of the meters in healing, constantly getting lost in the mechanics. It was too much for a newbie raiding like myself. I distinctly remember going into a full panic IRL every time I was marked on the Tectus fight. I would spam my entire mana bar on the first mushrooms of Brackenspore, always stepping next to someone with the debuff on Imperator. Time and time again, I was benched. Until finally I called it quits. Going forward to the Legion pre-patch, I'm logging into Overwatch after work to game with my IRL friends. As I go to click on the Overwatch tab, I glance at the WoW tab. It called to me, and I answered. I clicked the tab and saw the epic green edgelord text. Legion. Illidan. I thought I could give it another try. After leveling 3 characters to level cap through the pre-patch invasion points, I returned to my first real character, that Tauren Resto Druid. When Legion launched, my friends had come back after I explained that Legion was going to be hot fire. And I was able to join their old guild, Darkish Hue, whom they had raided with since the late Wrath of the Lich King. With this second foray into raiding, I made sure that I was not going to warm that bench. I shall be strong. I looked at my talents and read what they did. Learned my stats. Learned what the bosses of the Emerald Nightmare would do. I knew what I needed to do. And I was ready. Emerald Nightmare was a blast. We ended that tier with 2 mythic kills. Ooh, what would they have been? Nathendra and... It would have been towards the end of the tier, so maybe Ursoc? Question mark? Question mark? Maybe? It doesn't say. They would have been overgeared, so let's say it. We'll go with Ursoc. It could. I doubt it was Alareth. I doubt it. Considering it was a challenge to get 20 decent people together in our guild, the mythic kills were by the skin of our teeth, but we were ecstatic every time that mythic achievement popped up. We were definitely proper. Enter Serac, the Troll Resto Druid. As we adventured into Mythic, we needed, of course, to fill out 20 spots. We had 16 or so main raiders that came every week, and we were looking for one more healer. We tried to get a steady Holy Paladin, but there's none around, and we had to settle for another Resto Druid. At first, Serac was friendly, constantly asking for tips from me. It felt weird giving him advice, as he had raided during Wrath of the Lich King and Miss. I had only raided half a tier in WoD, but I pointed him in the right direction to some guides, gave him some overall tips for healing. And once he had come to a couple of raids, got some gear and learned the fights, he had really started to pull some numbers. Him and I often fought for the top. We would discuss strats outside of the raid, when we were becoming better at using our timers. We were in fact becoming the guild's Resto officers. Heroic TOV cost us our tank. We failed to get ahead of the curve before the Nighthold. The tank was a warrior, and for the life of him he couldn't take a Stormforged spear without shield wall. After trying everything we could, we had someone switch to a Guardian Druid alt and killed it within 3 pulls. This set off our warrior. He had been with us for a long time, but he quit instantly. Though we overcame Odin on that day. Hell yeah. was not to be for the entire tier. With the release of the Nighthold, we had found a new main tank, made steady, easy progress through Heroic up until Tichondrius. We hit the Enraged time and time again. Another week rolled around. Tichondrius was not to be. The raid leader determined we were going to farm Mythic Plus on raid days to up our gear. Anybody else had to do that? Holy shit. Holy shit. Well, we're not raiding anymore, boys. We're doing M Plus instead on raid days. Oh, man. Okay. And older heroic bosses until we could pull the DPS to beat Tichondrius' Enrage. Did you guys struggle a lot with Tichondrius? I don't know. My guild just didn't, so I don't know. Was he a bastard in the first few weeks? Maybe. Okay. Now it's important to note that our guild did not use Master Loot. We had personal loot. And we would trade items we didn't need to the raid leader, who would then post it for rolls. Why? Wait, someone explain this to me, right? So I've seen a lot of people do this. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's recently been a discussion about Master Looter. It's not a big deal, don't worry about it. But why would you roll personal loot and then trade everything to the raid leader, who would then put it out for rolls? Why would you do that? I don't understand. I assume it's only like you trade things you don't want? Only what they don't need. Okay, that's the line that's missing. That's the line that's missing. If you don't want it, then you trade it to the raid leader. Okay, that makes more sense. All right. Many, many a time, items would go up and people would roll. And the highest roll would get the item. Without the raid leader checking if it was useful for them. There's so many people rolling for transmog, right? There's so many people rolling for transmog. Over the course of Emerald Nightmare, TOV and Nighthold, I saw the following events occur. Tank trinkets go to fire mages because it had crit on it. Healing trinkets go to PvPers for item level. An 885 Titanforge Wriggling Sinew go to a mage who had just joined because he was a friend. A verse stat stick go to an Affliction Warlock. And other questionable loot choices. I had never really been stunned because of these actions, but they did rub me and some of the others the wrong way. I can't imagine why. I've heard it from some very reliable sources that personal loot is in fact the superior system. So, you're wrong. And elitist. And toxic. Any other meme words we can use? Let me just check MMO Champ one sec. No, just toxic. Toxic. You're toxic. That's what you are. Okay. Our guild had grown. Clunky. Clunky. Global cooldown. You're a global cooldown, sir. That's what you are. You are clunky and a global cooldown. That's what you are. Our guild had grown. We were now taking 25 people with us each and every week to Heroic. To ensure our future Mythic team would get the appropriate gear, the decision was made. You want to know Toxic? Here comes Toxic. We decided it would be important if we switched to Master Looter. In our third week of Nighthold. It's the beginning of the end. You bowed down to that pressure, and now you're going to use the most elitist thing in the world. Come on, BFA. Save us from this nightmare. Please. I thought that this meant we would pay more attention to who got loot. Until one day, we downed Tichondrius, and the tier shoulders drop. These were a known coveted item by our druids, with good stats for balance and resto. Knowing that my boy Serac already had his 4-piece, and our other druid did too, I knew I was a sure bet for receiving that glorious mantle of the Astral Warden. Now, chat, let me know, is this out of line or not? But what followed caused me to quit raiding and G-quit within a week. Master Looter is the problem, see? See? This guy had Master Looter for 1 week and quit. 1 week with Master Looter. And quit the game. So, you know, we need to help this guy. The shoulders go up for rolls. I rolled a 73. Serac rolls an 87. After a moment, our raid leader pops in. How many tier pieces have you got, druids? I get excited, quickly answer. 3, boss! I've just got 3! Then Serac pipes up. 3? I got 3, though. I'm confused. I know for a fact Serac's got 4. He'd been talking earlier in the raid about how excited he was to see the 4-piece in action during the raid. I noticed the raid leader inspecting him, so I inspected him as well. And sure enough, he's unequipped his tear gloves. And equipped some random mythic shit. So he's only wearing 3 pieces. Whoa. Serac has received the shoulders. I'm stunned. I'm stunned. And I feel cheated. I whisper, my boy. I'm sure you already had 4 pieces, right? His reply, though. Mate, gloves are well shit stats, though. Ah, yeah. Lol. He puts lol at the end. Lol. Gloves are well shit, though, bro. Lol. Stupid you, mate. Don't you know? Yeah, I've got 4-piece, but not the good 4-piece. Right? I ain't got the good 4-piece. So it don't even count. Don't even count. I just logged the fuck off. I whispered the raid leader in the morning that I'm tired of raiding and quit before the end of the week. I know that had I stayed, I was next up for them shoulders. But I can't stand to play with Serac. Am I petty? Or was his lying for loot not that big of a deal? Both! Well, yeah, his lying's not cool. He should be kicked. If a guy's going to lie and unequip and swap items to get more loot, then he should be kicked. Right? Pretty easy. You're being a bit petty, though. Like, you should have called him out on it. Don't just log off like a bitch. Don't do that. Say, oh, fucking, he's lying. Why are you lying, bro? Call him out. Stand up. Don't just log off and run away. Right? Just fucking mouth up. Say, dude's lying. He's now got 5-piece. All right? We're all in 3. I'm in 3. He's got 4, and he's got 5. What's that about? I did take a break on raiding and came out just in time to get ahead of the curve TOS. I'm raiding in a different guild now, and I'm much more friendly in a much more friendly and straightforward environment. No, fake news. That doesn't exist. All raiding is toxic. Toxic. All of it. Liar. Why are you this is all fake news. I'm going to tell my little story and stay spicy, you wonderful people. You wonderful people. Stay spicy. Why are you... Well, there you go. Man's yet again got his 4-piece. Toxic Master Loot. It is. Watcher told me. Abusive. Very abusive. Right. I was saving this as the extra. See, I need a girl. All right. Let's have Yuffie. Yuffie. You can get away with being a girl. Yuffie. Why would you roll for loot, though? It doesn't make sense to us, does it? It doesn't make sense to us. It doesn't make sense to us. All right, here we go. We're going fast to finish this one out. Hey there, preaching Mr. Ghost!
Hey!
Hope you find yourself well. I finally worked up some courage to tell you my little story. I hope you enjoy. So don't be a douche nozzle, you lot. Took courage, this one. There is one character, a rogue, a lady called Yuffie. A brief setup. I play WoW on and off since vanilla. This story takes place around the end of Mr. Pandaren into WoD. I had recently come back 4 or 5 months before Warlords of Draenor. I managed to find a fitting guild that had decent players who had just returned, working through the slightly older content in order. It was a smallish guild, but very tight. There were 3 girls in the guild. 2 of them, based on their voice, sounded like they were in a biker gang and liked to crush the puss. One of them was a very sweet-sounding girl, though. Very friendly, not flirty or trying to whore for the benefits of the game. And all 3 girls were good at the game. As WoD started to get closer and closer, we, the guild, decided we needed a website or something, right? To get ourselves organised. None of us knew how to set up a website, so it was decided the best way of organising our guild is to take it to the Zuckerberg machine. Praise him. Praise him. The good book created a group for us. I joined the group. I, of course, set out to see what people looked like. And that's when I came across Yuffie. She had beautiful hair, eyes, teeth, and skin. Sounds so creepy. The only drawback was that she was pretty thick. Now, it's not as bad as it sounds. To this day, I'd say she had one of the best figures I'd ever seen for someone her size. Think Coco Austin, but a little bigger. I don't know who that is. Coco Austin.
I'm going to search for this.
I can't show that on stream.
God damn! Oh, it's Ice-T's wife.
It's Ice-T's wife.
Yeah,
there you
your
go.
ass.
I have now.
Fucking hell.
I'm going to leave that to you guys rather than show it on stream. The benefits of dual monitors. Praise them. Praise them. People began to greet each other in posts, etc. The next day, I received a whispering game from Yuffie telling me she thought I was pretty hot. I blushed. I told her I thought she was hot as well, but was too shy to tell her the day before. She laughed and we went about our day. The budding romance then. We found ourselves hanging out more and more in Vent one-on-one, doing content. We had PvP, dungeons, transmog. We began to bond and get closer. Bond, I assume that. A little Freudian there, but it is written as we began to bound, but began to bond and get closer and closer. She lived about 13 hours away, so I know the distance is kind of ludicrous, but my affection got the better of me, and I asked her to be my girl. We made it official, and all was well. We had fun, never fussed. She was kind, I was kind. What bliss we were in. Everyone either thought we were cute or repulsive due to our flirt. Oh, no. Snuggle chops, bunny feet. We were either cute or repulsive with how we talked to each other. Over the next few months, we began to get more sexual in our day-to-day. Nothing too heavy. We were both kind of innocent as far as relationships go, but still kind of reserved and awkward. I have to admit that we had sweet, sweet e-sex a time or two. There's nothing sweet, sweet about e-sex. There's not. Sweet, sweet e-sex. I've never tried it, actually. Maybe it's awesome. I don't know. One day, though. Wait, before you get too involved. One day she tells me she has a trip planned cross-country, and she could get a layover for a day or two in a city about an hour from me. I was just excited at the possibility of getting me to meet her. But as the trip grew closer, so did the tension. We both knew why we were meeting. It was going to happen. And I won't lie, I was a little overexcited. At this point, we had been together for about 5-ish months. And we had said some filthy things to each other. Chapter 3, though, where it all goes wrong. And I'm going to need Andy's advice on this.
What's up, mate?
It's about to go wrong.
Nice.
But stay with us. About 2 or 3 weeks out, Yuffie and I are in Vent. And she says, "Hey, I got a question for you." A little sheepish sounding. I say, "Okay." Kind of puzzled. And she said, are you ready?
Go for it.
Would you like it if I got a vajazzle for our trip? Now, admit it if you don't know what a vajazzle is.
What a weird question to ask.
That's where I'm pulling the plug. I'm out. I'm out at vajazzle. I'm out. Again, you can Google it. I cannot show it on stream. But it is decoration for the lady parts. And it is a thing. It is very much a thing. It's very much a thing. It's also the least sexy thing I've ever seen, if I'm being honest. It's basically gluing gems to your vagina. And shit. Yeah, glitter, sequins, gems, all over it. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a good question, Gustav. The question is for the audio, but why? People believe it looks good, but no. Googled it. Well, there you go. Anyway, I say, what? She says, vajazzled. Like I just didn't hear her the first time. So, Andy, your thoughts on the vajazzle?
He wants a fucking tongue full of glitter.
Sounds like scratches, right?
Right?
I bet it doesn't, but still.
I bet it hurts.
It looks like something like 5-year-old girls do and them little crap machine toys
The
you
only
can
good
buy.
thing that come out of that is the bants when they fart and it farts glitter.
Queef.
Queef.
Looks like a little...
Like a party popper for your badge.
I say, what is it? She says, you don't know? Go and look it up. Sounding kind of embarrassed. So now he's embarrassed her, right? So off I go Googling. I am surprised and shocked, seeing as how she seems kind of innocent and tame. I saw it, and I thought the vajazzle was just kind of weird. Especially since it was going to be our first time. So that's when it happens. I hit her with this smooth line. Are you ready for the smooth line? Let's see if Andy can find the problem with this line. I'm going to read it. You don't need to cover up your treasure with that stuff.
Treasure?
She says, what? To which I replied, your treasure is all I need. Now, man's just got himself in a lot of trouble. Don't puke. Stay with me. I need you to be strong. I need you to be strong. Does anyone know why man's in trouble? Does anybody know why man's now in trouble? Did you pick up on it, Andy?
No.
Let me repeat it for you. You ready?
Go on then.
You do not need to cover up your treasure with that stuff. What? Your treasure is all I need. Let me point out
The treasure is all I need.
my man.
I'm only after a fuck.
My man.
Got it.
My man. That's experience there, y'all. That's experience shining through. Now, I just want to say before the next part, let me just say the most I had ever heard Yuffie sound upset or unhappy was being stressed after work or over something minor. She then replied with the most agitated sound I'd ever heard out of her. All you need? Question mark? I said, yeah. And she replied, well, what the fuck does that mean? Oh, no. Oh, no. Now, what I obviously meant, as I'm sure most of the men in the chat also realized with my vajazzle comment, was, no, I don't need you to get a vajazzle. I just want to be with you. Not with the 5-year-old girl plastic toy studded version of you. Just you. What she heard was, I just want your pussy. I don't give a fuck if it's got anything else. So I went and tried to mend this situation, right? I repeat what I originally said. It made her angrier as she heard the same horrible thing again. She then tells me how much of a user I am and that this was the plan the whole time. It then dawns on me she's not understanding what I'm actually saying. So I explain how all I wanted was her as a whole, not just the pelvis area. It has nothing to do with her treasure. Stop using that word. Please, for the love of Christ, stop calling it a treasure. It's not a treasure, right? Piss comes out of it. Piss don't come out of treasure, right? Unkept, it's a big jungle of pissy stink. It's the same as a big crotch. It's not a treasure.
Stop it.
You keep saying treasure.
You're ruining puss.
It's not a treasure. This did not help things. And in fact, unfortunately, it made things worse. I was lost as to what to do. We seem to just be having a communications problem. Is this thing on? I don't think you're hearing me. This was the first time I'd ever seen her this upset, and I started to panic. The more I tried to explain, the more upset she seemed to, and the less she appeared to understand. 15 minutes I tried to explain what I meant, at which point she started to cry. It got quiet for a few moments, to which I asked her if she was okay, to which she burst out into louder crying. Now, this is the first time I had been with a girl, and the first time I had dealt with a very upset girl. I couldn't understand why she couldn't understand what I was trying to say. And I could only think it was one thing. She must be on a period. Because I had heard that some women are irrational while they're on their period.
What a delight.
I mean, this guy is nailing all the boxes. So, I decided that I would ask her. This sent her into orbit, and I wasn't sure why, nor did I get an answer. She then started shouting at me as I tried to explain and apologize, even saying, I don't care if we have sex, I just want to meet you. Tried to remind her that I would be talking for 5 months at this point, and she should know who I am by now. Now I'm very chill. I've stayed calm. All I did was try and reassure and explain. I'm not easily upset, it rarely happens. And in my eyes, I had done nothing wrong, and only trying to help her get over a simple misunderstanding. While she was slandering me in between loud bursts of crying for a whole hour. And I lost it. I told her to stop being crazy. Women love that, by the way. Will you stop being a crazy woman? Come on. Stop being a crazy, irrational woman. God, can't you just be all calm and relaxed and straight to the point like us men? And that she wasn't listening to what I was saying. I told her I felt like I was speaking to a crazy person. And that was the final straw. She left Vent and she logged off WoW. 5 to 10 minutes later, I see her come online and join a channel with 4 other guildmates in it. The 2 other girls were in there, and our GM and some other. Her mic lighting up like a Christmas tree. I knew that I was being abused in there. It made me furious. It made me furious. I was kicked shortly after. All I could do was contact a friend that I needed to vent something. So I hopped into Vent. Now this rogue was a cool guy. Always got the jokes, making people laugh, bouncing as such. A good friend of mine. Mischievous though. And should have realised he wasn't the best person to confide in. He actually reminds me of Ghosty. Nothing, mate. I could totally see this guy ninjaing a guild bank in vanilla or TBC just for giggles.
Oh, okay.
He hops in vent and off I go retelling the story and ranting about how crazy and psychotic this girl is. He's kind of laughing but telling me stuff like, calm down, that sucks. You're really upset about this, honestly? She's just an internet girl. After a good 15 minutes, I felt I had pretty much got out the story. And I felt justified in my hurt and anger. He just says, bitches are crazy sometimes, man. Fuck it, there's more fish in the sea. To which I replied, unfortunately, don't you mean there are more whales in the sea? He found this hilarious. He howled with laughter for what seemed like 5 minutes. And this pretty much ended our conversation, and I logged off for the night, exhausted. The next day, I logged onto our guild's good book to check on her and see if she'd message me, only to find out that I had been removed as a friend. I thought this had to do with the vajazzle thing and just rolled my eyes out of how petty she was being. So I joined Vent and logged on to WoW. The first thing that happens is the GM says, I need to talk to you. I say, what's up? And he says, I heard what you said to Yuffie. I said, whoa, 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 you've only heard her side of the story. It's not what you think. He said, so you didn't call her a whale? Shit. Oh, no. I got a sicky feeling in my stomach. Oh, no. In hindsight, I probably should have lied. But I knew I was just hurt when I said that and didn't mean it. So that's why I told the GM. To which he responded that I was a total douche. The best I could figure out was my rogue friend told one of his friends because he thought it was fucking funny. He in turn told one of his friends who mounted his noble steed to White Knight the Maiden. To wrap this story up for you guys, the guild hated me. After another month or so, I quit WoW. I think because of the whale comment. It only solidified in Yuffie's mind that I was trying to use her for sex. I did try and salvage it though, chat. I did. I wrote Yuffie several emails trying to explain what I meant in the first place. Explaining that I knew she didn't want to get back together. But I wanted her to know that I thought that she was beautiful and not to feel insecure. Oh my God. You're making it so much worse. Holy shit. Oh my God. It's amazing how so far off the mark you are. You're like doing an archery contest in Tibet. The contest in the UK, you're just like, I don't know. I think this is right. Nailed it. She has never replied to me. She has never replied to me. And we haven't talked since that day. But I've heard from a friend that she seems okay. And I sincerely hope she is. She is. She's fine. She really is. In retrospect, it's so strange to think of what can happen in a few words or hours. Isn't it? Isn't it? Love your show, man. Get me through some of those long-ass days at work. Keep at it, you glorious bastards. And we will. Oh, man. Woo! I don't know how you could have got it more wrong, honestly. Like, you did every mistake. I mean, hopefully you're a young guy. Hopefully you're a young guy. Hopefully you're a young guy. Are you on your period? Look, I did call you a whale, but that shouldn't make you feel insecure. I think you're beautiful. Oh my God. Good God almighty. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of today's drama time. It's been fun, hasn't it? It's been real fun. What was this? What we need here is a vajazzle to go with this. We need a vajazzle in tribute to today. It needs a vajazzle with it. It really does. Or a girl. It's like we need semi-transparent girls going on here is what we need. Semi-transparent girls. Oh, sweet Jesus. Have a wonderful weekend, boys. Have a wonderful weekend, boys and girls. Thank you for everybody who tuned in over this week. I'll be back again on Monday. There might be a stream over the weekend because if you have beta, All Day Normal is open all weekend. So we could do a raid to go and see it all with you guys, but I'll do my best. I'll do my best. All right, guys. Love you all. See you again. Bye-bye. Say bye, Andy.
Bye, mates.